this is a day 2 update for Coco. Coco's here. This is day 2. Coco's here to be trained as a service dog. And she's a 1-year-old female lab. Beautiful dog. And as you can see, the collars, I'm going to talk about that a little bit. The collars I have on her based on, again, having a little bit more control issues going on. So what I'm doing is I'm utilizing both the choke chain, pressure collar, okay, to gain more control. It's a go-between tool. Focus to switch over to a flat collar once a level of relational changes happen. Once a level of challenge starts going down, then I'm going to switch over more to the flat collar. But again, based on her coming in here, and this is where, I'm going to move this a little bit. This is where yesterday she came in and she was, she had a lot of control here. So there's been an improvement even over yesterday. And she's actually here for 2 extra weeks. Okay, so there's some little bit of foundational work even before I advance into the service dog training with Coco to help to create some relational change, to help to get these control issues back a little bit better. So the transition is going to be a little easier. But see, she's always trying to move out here, she's trying to move out away. That's part of the issue here, this contrast, okay, between, personality type, the control that she has already established in the relationship, and again, defining the position that you need to work on to get dogs to come into agreement with or define change to help frame it up within the staging area. Okay, right here beside me. But you go back to the collars, you see right now she's on a pressure collar for control, and the flat collar is on her, and I also have a remote collar on her, because again, she's putting a lot of challenge inside the crate between yesterday, today a little bit. And so what I'm doing is I'm using vibration, okay, and she goes into the crate. And this is where, again, when you're doing this, it's on her, I left it on her, but just a reminder to be checking, these collars. And even check the dog's neck, okay, as you do this. I'm going to put this in my pocket, just so it's not rubbing. Is what you want to do here, just a reminder, is to be, checking the dog's neck area to make sure that there's no irritation going on, okay? So just always be looking at the neck a little bit. I want to take a peek here, make sure that the prongs of the collar are not rubbing, okay? Not using on static shock, but still the prongs can rub and irritate if you're leaving it on for a longer period of time. And this is where, because on vibration, some people I've worked with actually have cut the prongs right off, okay, because it's not about the prongs touching, because you're just using vibration anyway. So that's something to keep in mind if you're using it as a secondary tool, which in this system it is used that way. So here, you can watch me doing some of the little bit of the basic method with Coco. Again, the focus on the first 2-3 days is on getting her to come into agreement with the method, establishing the method, the integrity of the method, keeping it really defined. Again, I move forward here, and making sure, she's coming right into, see my fingers over here, right into the staging area, okay, right into the area to line this up, okay? Keep it really clean, tapping here a little bit, because I have the choke chain on her and tapping. I'm not going to be aware of that. I'm not going to put, tap so heavy. It's not cranking yank. It's just like little nudges, okay? So I'm using the collar mostly because of control here, helping control her a little bit more. But even when I'm walking, you see here I'm going for some slack to the collar, okay? So when I stop, and she's in a state, a follower state, you create some slack around my collar a little bit. You don't always want to keep influence coming through it, because it doesn't make sense to her, okay? So, okay, the basic method. Now, here's the thing. Starting off, a lot of times it's helpful just to take one step forward. So if I'm doing, lining this up, really, the dog is really coming outside the script. You just move, see how I'm moving forward, just one step. Sometimes it's better just to take one step at first and work on just getting this really, bringing this together, good integrity. See that? Good integrity. Now you notice here too is See, now see her move out, right? Bring her back around. Need her to come into agreement with being in that area. So I'll put some influence onto her and keep working her. She starts, she wants to slide out. Because that leads into this issue of control, okay? Because again, it's what has been established. So she's going to not like to be right in where I'm telling her to go. Because to her, this represents losing a level of control. So she's going to resist that. You know, there's some resistance here. Okay, that goes away, but just understand that's what's going on. Same thing, move forward with her. Same thing, always sometimes switch over a little sooner and have this hand, my left hand, she's on my left side, ready to go. A little push pull. A little tap tap. Now, sometimes if the dog has a lot of control, you may want to skip a little variance here at first, skip the push pull part of it, okay? Because again, if you have a real strong personality type, sometimes you got to skip that step. Because how this is coming together is about being intentional. So to still have good integrity, it just means that I'm skipping one step a little bit, okay? Because again, if the dog has a lot of control, it's going to send her into higher levels of challenge, okay? So sometimes some variance here, so at the same time, I'm putting influence on her to line this up, okay? So I'm bringing it together. So I'm building the script, you know, bringing it together so that the script is going to, you know, really tighten up. When I say tighten, it means the integrity is going to get more defined, okay? So again, so when I talk about integrity, there's variance. And variance can mean that the integrity can, you know, be off, but only because you're skipping a step a little bit, okay? It's not because you're just letting it just totally go really loose and everything. You know, that's not what you're doing, okay? What you're doing is you're kind of, how you're, you know, asserting influence is being intentional so that I'm making sure that I'm not sending Coco in a high challenge, okay? Because, you know, as I'm doing this, it may seem reasonable, but if I'm getting a very unreasonable reaction, and based on her level of control, I don't want to get bit. But again, if I felt that was going to happen, she'd have a muzzle on her right now. You see that in some of my other videos, dog wearing muzzles, but that alone represents that she isn't too bad, okay, in the sense of trying to challenge me that way, trying to be really nasty. Is that right in? Really good. Little push pull. That inwardness. Okay, create some inwardness. We're going to move forward. Again, there's a lot of just this type of repetition. Again, not conditioning wise, not repetition through conditioning, okay, through learning that way, okay, it's through interaction based, okay? So how influences coming online here impacting her state of mind. So same here, move tight, come forward. Right here, so right here is a little resistance. I'm going to keep it right directly. So I want her to go right in. See that? She wants to come out. She wants to try to bring her bum out, sway it out away from me. I'm not allowing it. So anyway, that's this is day 2 with Coco. Considering she's doing good, we have a 2-week window here where I'm, you know, a board training type of process, which is great because it gives me that extra room to you know, create a good level or get some of these control issues back before she proceeds into the service dog part. So, but I'm going to be putting videos every day, basically, or every other day, but you're going to see the whole process right through from day 2 right now, right up through the whole. She's here basically for 3 months, 3-4 months back and forth. So she's going to be trained as a physical ability assistance dog. So, which follows the definition of the American Disability Association. So she's going to be trained as in a helper role, pick up objects, and a support role physically. The gentleman has a bad back, so to help him get out of chairs and stuff, to steady him, I'm going to have her trained up. And so you'll get to see how learning, okay, how learning applies that narrative, but it attaches, you know, once relational change happens. That's the difference. So focus is created through following the right process. Approaching is a relational changing process that creates focus. then we can connect dots that way. So you're going to see how that applies. So, you know, conditioning has application, but not in the form it's applied in the mainstream dog training world. There's application, but more in the context of, you know, of connecting dots once relation changes happen. Then we can get into getting her to do what I want to do through repetition, but I have meaningful influence based on the fact that relation change has happened at a high level, okay? How that, it's like the glue that holds everything together is relational glue. The consistency, the focus on certain tasks that comes through, you know, promoting or approaching the process, defining the process.